about to do bedside report before shift change. Before we go into the patient's room, we're going to discuss sensitive information outside the room. So this is Lisa McCarthy's room. She's a nurse. She was admitted for a synoptic episode. She was having a really hard time sleeping. She's on night shift, and you know how hard those hours can be. She's feeling really overwhelmed and tired with her inability to get good rest.
Okay, I'll do my best to provide therapeutic communication to ease her anxiety.
Hi, Mrs. McCarthy. So Mrs. McCarthy, it's getting close to the end of my shift, and I wanted to introduce you to the new nurse that will be taking over. This is Eric, and he'll be taking care of you tonight. We're going to do what we call a bedside report, and that's where we discuss your history and plan of care. Please feel free to ask questions or give comments at any time. Mrs. McCarthy, Eric is a great nurse. He'll take good care of you.
It's nice to meet you, Miss McCarthy. I'll be your nurse until 7 a.m. tomorrow.
So Mrs. McCarthy is 28, no known drug allergies. She was admitted after fainting at work.
Miss McCarthy, can you please tell me your full name and date of birth?
Lisa McCarthy, March 18th, 1992.
So Mrs. McCarthy's coworkers found her at on the floor at the end of her shift. She does not report being in any pain. However, she does have a bump on the back of her head that is tender to the touch. Her blood pressure is slightly elevated. It was 190/86 at noon. Her B12 levels are very low, 80 nanograms per milliliter. Mrs. McCarthy reports having a hard time sleeping. She has trouble falling asleep and staying asleep, and she doesn't feel well rested when she wakes up. She also has sleep apnea.
Okay, elevated BP and low B12. How are the rest of her vitals?
Vitals look good. I've taken them twice this shift. They're all within normal range. We're waiting on a sleep study, and we need to discuss some options to increase her B12.
That's good. The low B12 levels may be contributing to her feeling of fatigue.
I think it would be beneficial if Mrs. McCarthy could speak to dietary about foods that are high in B12. I also think Mrs. McCarthy is ready for some education on good sleeping habits, like setting routines and avoiding caffeine and sugar before bed. We've been trying to work on getting Mrs. McCarthy some good rest while she's here. Earlier today, I darkened the room and I gave her a few hours to take a nap, but she wasn't able to sleep for very long, so I recommend trying some measures to help her sleep.
I can definitely do that. We can keep the room dark, reduce noise, and I'll try not to disturb you too often to give you a chance to sleep. I can also provide some lavender aromatherapy to help you relax.
Mrs. McCarthy is taking Ambien and Benadryl to help her sleep. That, coupled with her earlier fainting and feelings of fatigue, make her at a moderate risk for falls. We've been keeping her bed at the lowest position with the wheels locked and the side rails up. She has her call bell and has been calling for assistance before getting out of bed.
Okay, I'll make sure to continue to recess her risk for falls. Miss McCarthy, I want you to continue to call me before trying to get out of bed. We'll work on getting up slowly so you don't feel dizzy. And we can have you sit on the edge of the bed before having you stand. I'm going to give you some time to rest, and we'll be back to check on you in about 2 hours. Please call me if you need anything.
So for now, Mrs. McCarthy has her call bell. Her bed is in the lowest position, locked, side rails are up. We're going to go ahead and close your curtain for privacy, and we're going to wash our hands before we leave. And then we're going to go outside and document everything before shift change.